Welcome to Ranking Every Commander with the Nitpicking Nerds.
This time, we're doing Jumpstart.
I'm your host, Joe Cherries.
I'm your host, BZ, and that makes us the Nitpicking Nerds. Continuous content. 3 times a week. If you don't like that, don't subscribe. If you do like it, subscribe.
Yeah, and besides, you want to be a subscriber to this channel because our subscribers are 10% less likely to need to steal giant green gems.
Disclaimer guy here. Subscribing to Nitpicking Nerds in no way affects why you want to steal gems or whatever else you want to do.
Why would someone need to steal giant green gems? I guess we'll find out at the end of the video.
We will find out at some point in this video why someone would need to steal tiny green gems or big green gems.
Anyway, the gist of what we're doing, if you haven't seen any of this before, ranking every single commander. We already did that. So we're factoring in the Jumpstart commanders, seeing where they fall on the grand scheme of we're up to 950 legal legends.
Yes, precisely. We're going to see where all 10 of the new commanders from Jumpstart fall on this list. And we're just going to jump right into it and get right to what the bottom one is. The worst Jumpstart commander. He is 551. And he is Sethron Herloon General. And he is right above Haktos, the Unscarred, and right below Obnixilis of the Black Oath. 3 red for a 4/4 whenever it enters the battlefield or another non-token Minotaur enters the battlefield under your control, create a 2/3 red Minotaur token. Pay 2 and a Rakdos hybrid. Minotaurs you control get +1/+0 and gain menace and haste until end of turn. So this is like a Minotaur little guy. He's making some Minotaur tokens. In the right tribe, this would be really good, but in Minotaurs, this card's not so good.
I don't even think it's that crazy anyway. I'm sure 2 years from now, we might have to reevaluate this guy's power. Maybe he gets a 4. I don't know. Making inconsequential dudes when creatures of Minotaur enter. I'm not super thrilled with the power.
Well, here's the thing. He makes 2/3s. It'd be pretty good if you were playing like goblins, where you could play like 1-drop goblins and get 2/3 goblins. That would feel a lot better. But your Minotaurs cost like the minimum is like 2, and they're really bad. And then at 3, you get some decent ones. But then
there's basically no good Minotaurs.
Yeah,
there's just like 5 maybe.
There's just not a lot of good ones, and that's the main issue here. Is that Minotaurs stink.
Yeah, this is a really good Minotaur commander though. This has got to be the go-to. He gives himself haste, and the 2/3 triggers off himself.
Yeah, he's cool. He's awesome.
And obviously, Minotaurs are fun. It is very fun to make this janky sort of left-out tribe. It's like purposefully left out. And then every once in a while, they throw you a bone, like every year. Yeah. You know, there's a guy who does set reviews on Reddit, but only for Minotaur Tribal. So like every set, sometimes it'd be like, nothing new.
No, nothing to do with it.
Or like, oh my god, we got a 2/3 Minotaur for 3 with no abilities. It's going right in, guys.
They finally reprinted one of my Minotaurs. Yep, it's down to 10 cents.
Perfect. Yeah, that would be an easier job than what we have. How about art?
The art is perfectly fine. She's like a Minotaur lady. She looks really angry.
It's got a hammer. There's a mountain. A cape. There's a cape. Minotaurs and capes. That does it for you. Otherwise,
meh.
Coolness? I don't think this is cool.
What's the little story we get?
Oh, they all have a little blurb. This one was nothing. So I'll save the little blurbs that everybody got for Jumpstart for ones that are cool. This one's not cool.
Okay, that's fine. And uniqueness, it's tribal. That's all. I mean, it is one of your only Minotaur options.
The Menace Haste is interesting to me. That's about it. In terms of like, there's plenty of other cards that pay off a tribe, and that's really what this is doing. So
yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to factor in Minotaur too highly to that.
Yeah, it gets a 5. Moving on to the next one. What do we have?
Yeah, I'm going to read this one because I doubt you could. It's Brubeck the Grandiloquent. It's 549, so he's 2 away, which is why he's above Obnixilis of the Black Oath and below Chandra's mom. Not quite as cool as Chandra's mom. He's only got a 3 for power. Here's why. 2 and a blue for a 1/4. If an opponent would mill 1 or more cards, they mill twice that many instead. That's it. This is a mill commander, but he doesn't really... Most of the cool commanders I can think of say, all right, static thing, and then second ability that helps pay off the static thing.
Yep, he doesn't have the pay off the static thing. You just have the static thing.
It's cool. It's fine. Low power. It's... When there's a million ways to trigger mill, let me know. I don't think mill is very viable. It's kind of like aggro, except it's worse because you're never not going to have 300 cards to mill.
Yeah, you also have to have cards that specifically say mill.
Well, anything that puts into the graveyard from the library is mill now, right?
Is everything? I don't know. I feel like there's
most of it. Maybe there's some corner cases.
There's got to be examples where there's not.
Like I wonder if Traumatize is.
Probably.
Mill's half their library rounded up.
Yeah, I think Traumatize is. Yeah, Traumatize is the auto kill with this man.
Kind of, unless they have one of 10 cards that they'll think they're so clever for having.
They'll be like, gotcha. Woo! It's only got a 3 for power because it doesn't do anything by itself, and the deck has to be built around it. But it's not nothing.
Let me tell you, there's a common theme among these Jumpstart commanders: low power, high fun. It's fun to get little mill grindy value out.
Yeah, it's super grindy. You're trying to mill everyone out here.
I don't like the art. Azorius, fat guy with legislature scrolls is not interesting to me ever, and they keep doing it.
Azorius guy with legislature scrolls. They're
like so. I don't know what they have on, but they always look so bulky.
I don't know. Azorius is boring to me.
It's the most boring guild, right?
We like laws. What do you like?
Detaining.
Justice,
laws and order, and nothing you wouldn't expect ever.
Yes.
Likewise, I gave him major coolness downgrade because there's a saying in the Azorius. This guy is famous law checker. He never makes a mistake. So there's a saying in the Azorius.
Okay.
The saying is slipping a loophole past a Brubeck. Now that's the saying, and it means doing the impossible. There's so many things wrong with that. Sayings do not originate about a person when the person is still alive.
That's not true.
How fast does it happen? What's one saying that has a person that is alive?
You'd have to give me time.
I don't know. I'm just saying. That is not really
a
thing that happens. Usually they take time to catch on, and I don't know how much time this has. Secondly, it's longer to say the joke version than the regular version.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's more of it would still be something. It makes sense. I think you're overthinking it way too much.
I hate this. I think it's real stupid. Anyone who's on my side will do another comment argument.
Yeah.
Let me know in the comments. Anyone who's on Joe's side, let Joe know in the comments. Is that little section stupid?
No, I think it's kind of cool. I disagree with you completely.
Dumb. This card is not very.
Making an argument.
This card's very unique in that it's not at all because all it says is mill. So I can't really give it a unique points.
There's a lot of cards that mill or do some form of mill. Next we have Zerzoth, Chaos Rider. Right above Slowbad, Goblin Tinkerer. And right below Grothama, All Devouring. Coming in at 380. 2 in a rev for a 2/3 Devil. Ooh, look out for this Devil. Whenever an opponent draws their first card each turn, if it's not their turn, you create a 1/1 red Devil token with... When this creature dies, deal 1 damage to any target. Whenever one or more devils you control attacks one or more players, you and those players each draw a card and then discard a card at random.
I love the flavor that this is a Riot Devils. It's a 2/3 for 3. That was the first 2/3 for 3. So, A1 for that. In terms of power, guess what? It's really low, but this card is really fun.
Yeah, he's perfectly fine.
It's chaos.
He's chaosy. He's not really doing too much. The goblins are bad.
Devils?
The devils are bad. They just don't do anything really.
They need death touch.
And the way that you get them is by opponents drawing not on their turn. I
like it. I like trying to assemble that. I just think of Gyro Reach Sanitarium and it makes me happy.
Yeah, you can do stuff like that to get some devils, but it's still just, other than forcing them to draw, they're not going to do. They're just going to be like, all right, I'll do it on my turn.
Let me tell you an archetype less supported than Minotaurs. It's devils.
Is it actually making your opponent draw not on your turn? Because that sounds like it's not very supported either.
I mean, that seems easier than just devil tribal. There's like 20 devils at most.
Yeah.
Maybe. Half of them are from the last 5 sets.
Yeah. We got Tybalt's Rager.
Tybalt's Rager. There's the 5/5 for 5. There's Pitchburn Devils from like Innistrad or something.
Also, Tybalt's Rager always makes me think of a party. Like Tybalt's throwing a Rager.
It's an enchantment.
Yeah, it's an enchantment. This is Tybalt's Rager. Wow, Tybalt! Yeah, throwing a great party, man.
I think Tybalt's Rager is good. In limited. 6 for art. He's a devil. I don't know what devils ride. Maybe other devils. I don't know what that thing is. It's kind of like, what is Hell Rider riding? I don't know.
He's riding hell. He rides on top of the incarnation of hell.
I don't even know how to respond to that. I didn't think his blurb was that good. It's only got a 3 for me.
Okay.
It causes chaos. That's really it. There's like a war-torn plane. It's all hellscape, and he's there.
Oh, yeah. This guy rides on the incarnation of chaos. Okay. That makes
He's
sense.
an agent of chaos.
He rides on top of the
Killed Harvey Dent's girlfriend also, while we're while we're
He
doing
rides on
metaphors.
He rides on top of the Joker.
Oh, he's an agent of the Agent of Chaos.
Ooh.
What's the last thing? Oh, uniqueness.
Yeah.
I think this is pretty sweet in terms of how rare this ability is on a card. I've never seen this.
Yeah, getting a bonus off of opponent's drawing not on their turn is definitely unique.
It'll punish the end of turn guy. Oh, end of turn, opt. Nuh-uh, do it on your turn. This probably actually makes games take less time.
He would be way better and way cooler if he actually triggered off of each card they drew instead of the first one.
Well, that would just be too many devils. That's so many devils.
They'd be good.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's just like too far.
That's too far. What about stupid Snake Man? Pretty much does it.
Snake Man. Oh, Sirus.
He does that.
Well,
Same
this is
thing.
3 mana.
Yeah,
But that says whenever they would draw. I don't know. And these have an extra ability. We're just going to move on because that's a weird hypothetical card that doesn't exist.
it's way cooler.
Next, we got Mule the Blessed. 364 above Nikya of the Old Ways, below Torgar, Famine Incarnate. 2 white for a 4/4 legendary unicorn. 3: exile another target creature you control and then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. Whenever another creature enters under your control, you may pay Celestia Hybrid. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on it. But if it's a unicorn, you put 2 counters on it instead. What were we just saying about static ability and then second ability that pays off the static?
Yeah, so it actually works together. This is more of just a flicker commander though, because there's not enough unicorns.
But I like the fact that it is a good card that has unicorn synergies, as opposed to our boy Zurzath, who's just like devils.
You got any devils? You guys got any devils?
Right, he's a chaos deck that could also be devils, but it's not like it's. Anyway, we're not. It's 4 for power. This is by far the best one so far. It can't protect itself, but if you have a creature like Flicker Wisp or Felidar or Guardian, then it does protect itself because you flicker the thing, comes back right away, and then that thing flickers Mule.
Yeah, Restoration Angel will also do that.
Same.
Yeah, so
That's
all
true.
those will protect it. Not really. It's pretty fun.
It's funny that
it's a flicker deck.
We got stronger, and then the fun went down. Like it's going towards the middle.
Yeah, this one just is a flicker deck. There's a lot of flicker commanders, and they're not. There is a lot of fun to be had in flicker. I think when you don't have blue, you lose some of that fun though.
The standout is Legendary Unicorn. That's where the coolness comes from. That's where the uniqueness comes from. It's got a little unicorn tribal, and you can go +1/+1 counters if you really want to.
Yeah,
Blinking's not super great with that. But there is a blink +1/+1 counter deck somewhere, and the art, it's good. Come on, unicorn, legendary unicorn. This is the first one of those, right?
First legendary unicorn. Yeah, there's no legendary unicorns.
Misform Ultimus.
Gotcha. Beat you to it, comment guy.
Or whatever the
More fun.
Beat you to it, second comment guy who thought we got you because you weren't first comment guy.
Got him. What about the blurb?
Oh, the blurb. It's a unicorn.
It's a unicorn. Okay,
Magical, farts rainbows.
it does not. Liar.
In my head canon, it does. It's the same head canon where Vito makes pizza.
That's fair.
Next.
Next, we have Neith of the Dire Hunt, right above Thantis, the War Weaver, and right below Higuru, the Still Wind. 2 green for a 3/3 human warrior. Whenever one or more creatures you control fight or become blocked, draw a card. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may pay 2 in a Gruul hybrid. If you do, double target creature's power until end of turn. That creature must be blocked this turn.
I like this card a lot. It's so cool, but the thing that gets me is one or more, so that you can't draw a bunch of cards.
Mm-hmm.
If you... Because Zuri's Predation, that's 1,000 fights, but you get 1 draw.
Yeah, they all fight simultaneously, so you only get 1 draw. It's kind of sad.
You attack with 10 creatures and they block them all. You get 1 draw.
I don't like that. It doesn't work with bite abilities either, which are just basically fights.
But they're better, so it's weird.
Yeah, he just kind of falls into a weird spot of like wanting to use the keyword fight.
That's cool. You got Uvumwald Tracker and stuff for that. Maybe you could set up a repeated fight deck. This is one of the ones I want to do a deck on the most to see if we can make it work. I think the fun is definitely there. A lot of fun potential.
Yeah, it's all about fighting.
You can even play werewolves.
You get to play Fight Bear and sing everyone's favorite Rachel Platten song. This is my fight, bear. I take back my life, bear.
Artwork's pretty good.
I
thought this was a card on Innistrad, actually, but it's not.
Where is it?
I thought the Dire Hunt was something that was from Innistrad, but this is on some other plane where she's trying to hunt monsters with her wolf buddy, and she's trying to hunt the biggest monster of them all.
We'll get them all.
We'll never meet her again.
Gotta catch them all, right?
They're kind of hinting at a bunch of new planes. They're not really saying anything about them. They're just saying, she's from an unknown plane.
But
he's from an unknown plane.
There's a lot of planes. There's infinite planes.
I feel like there's not a ton that they hint at that we don't end up going to.
Yeah, there's probably more than you know.
I guess we're probably not going to Teo's plane Gobakan.
Gobakan.
It's just another Amonkhet, which is just another Tatooine.
Yeah, we're not going there.
There's 2 suns. It's really hot.
Oh, there's always 2 suns.
She gets some uniqueness points because doubling power and fight tribal. There's no fight tribal.
There is no fight tribal. Yeah, so we're gonna be fighting and blocking. That's about it.
Speaking of fighting,
what's the next one?
That's number 275 out of all commanders ever. Kel's Fight Fixer is above Minotaur and below Daxos Blessed by the Sun. 2 black for a 4/3 Azra Warlock. Menace. Whenever you sacrifice a creature, you can pay Dimir Hybrid. If you do, draw a card. 1, sacrifice a creature. She gains indestructible until end of turn.
This card's pretty powerful. You just sack things and draw cards, and she's good at paying that off.
Once you get guys out, you don't ever have to do anything. You have card draw locked up, and you have protecting your commander locked up. She's indestructible forever.
I don't understand the flavor of her. What is she doing?
What fight is she fixing?
Yeah, is she in the fight? Why is she being indestructible from sacrificing? I don't know what's going on.
She's a what is it? And she's from the Battle Bond plane. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of what they said she was. She's a mob boss, I think.
She looks like a mob
she's
boss.
Whatever Gonti is, like a mafia mob type person.
She's the Godfather, grandmother.
She's gonna make you an offer you can't refuse.
Yeah,
and other movie quotes.
Yeah, right.
That's no moon. 7 for fun, like we said. The art, all of these artworks, they're all 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think every single one. They're all good.
Yeah, this one's not great, but it's pretty good. It's not like it looks bad. It's just.
If this was in relation to Battle Bond cards, this would be an 11.
Yes, this would be an 11 out of 10.
It's not computer garbage.
It's not. Oh God, I hated those so much.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. Her lore, actually, what I'm remembering now is pretty sweet. Her magic detects emotional distress, and then she uses it to manipulate people. She can sense which fighters are like not confident and stressed out.
That's really, what kind of magic is that?
I don't know, but it's really cool. That doesn't show up in the card at all. I don't know why she's sacrificing people. I don't know, indestructible, but the lore was cool.
Yeah, she's like, I sense you have high anxiety. Allow me to give you this prescription.
By that I mean draw a card to make myself indestructive. And sacrifice a creature.
By that I mean sell you drugs because I'm a mob boss and I do stuff.
She probably sells drugs.
Yeah, she knows
steroids.
Yeah, she knows. She's probably just like selling the drugs to the people that need them.
Or maybe she takes the steroids because she becomes indestructible.
I don't know what she does. And
it's not very unique though, because
sack draw.
If I said blue black draw a card, sacrifice a creature, you would say, yeah, but which commander? There's so many.
What do we got next? What is the next one up on this list?
Well, it's Ineaz, the Galeforce, at 271 above Corlash, Heir to Blackblade, and below Atris, Oracle of Half-Truths. 3 blue for a 4/4 flyer, 2 and an Azorius hybrid, attacking creatures with flying. You have +1/+1 until end of turn. But don't worry, here's the cool part. Whenever 3 or more creatures you control with flying attack, each player gains control of a non-land permanent of your choice, controlled by the player to their right. I had to read this like 3 times before I thought it was good.
I mean, yeah, this is absolutely good. You just get to throw around what you want because you make it a flyers deck and then you attack and it's like somebody gains something from the player on their right, so you get the best card from your player on your right.
To your left. To your left, you get the best card from them.
Wait,
the player to your left gives you their best thing because you're on their right. You give away your worst thing. Your deck's built around that exact ability. This ability triggers right away because you play this, then attack with 3 dudes.
Yep. It's super annoying. Like, you just the decks that can deal with this the best and aren't going to care are the ones with sack outlets. But then you just try and give away their sack outlets.
It gets around sack outlets.
Oh, it does.
They have to respond. It's just gain control of a non-land permanent of your choice.
Oh, so they have to respond to the trigger, or else you just get to do it, and so they can't really respond.
You really can't sack your best thing, then you lose your next best thing.
Yeah, that doesn't really work. Okay,
this card is pretty sweet. You don't even have to have real flyers; they can be tokens. This can just be a control deck with this thing and tokens.
Real flyers, like they're fake.
Also, how good is this with
real fake flyers?
How good is this with extra turns?
Really good.
You just keep stealing stuff, giving away crap, like Prophetic Prism or something.
Yeah, you just play anything that cycles like that. That's pretty good.
Yeah, this card's sweet. I think the power's high. I think the fun, obviously, we just said was pretty high. The only fun points it loses is that's kind of miserable for the guy on your left.
It's miserable for the opponents anyway. You're going to be giving away their stuff. Nobody wants to deal with that. That's super annoying.
They hate it, and it doesn't go back. It's permanent.
Yeah, we talked about actually on stream earlier today. I talked about people. We were talking about how people get mad when you touch their cards. People hate it. It's like, guess what? I'm allowed to.
Dude, I hate it when you hover over my cards in Arena. That actually annoys me.
Well, sorry.
I wish that was not a feature.
Like, I hate when people go and they just grab my cards.
Yeah, you're
asking.
not entitled to do that.
That's different.
Ask all you want.
If you cast Praetor's Grasp targeting me, you get to see my deck. You get to touch my deck.
That's
Sorry.
true, but you don't get to grab my deck.
That's true.
You don't just get to go Praetor's Grasp.
Praetor's Grasp. Knock your deck over.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Shield Dread, not me. Art is amazing. I love the colors. I love the little wispy flying stuff. I love that this card looks terrible and then it is actually great.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty great.
The last ability is the sinker. The lore, it's a wind elemental thing.
Is that it?
That's really it. Uniqueness, though, I thought this was great. The first two are butts, and it's like flying matters. But the second one is like Amanatu ultimate level.
Yeah, it's weird. You're moving all this stuff around. And again, not everybody wants everybody's stuff. Sometimes there's a big giant threat that doesn't matter where it is and it's annoying, but not always. And also, if you do some sort of like extra combat and you really want something that, like, let's say a player to your right has,
you can keep moving it down the line.
Yeah, you can move it till you get it.
That's cool with extra turns. If you time stretch, you can take something from this guy, right?
Yeah,
you get one for your turn, then one more, and you get the best thing.
Yeah, you can just
silly.
You can push it. You can make it cycle around the table. Basically, you're just a giant gust of wind to blow it around the table.
Not the card. That card's very bad.
Yeah, don't play
Although it'll cost 2 less because you have a flyer. Muxus, Goblin Grandee. What does that do?
And it's right above Kadena, Slinking Sorcerer, and right below Jaleva, and it comes in at 176. 4 red for a 4/4 Goblin Noble. When it enters the battlefield, reveal the top 6 cards of your library. Put all Goblin creatures with converted mana cost 5 or less from among them onto the battlefield, and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. When Muxus attacks, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each other goblin you control. This card's powerful. In a sense, especially for goblins. All goblins don't really cost over 7.
I think in relation to goblins, it's powerful because it's kind of a 6-mana thing. It gets you like 2 goblins.
Yeah, maybe 3,
maybe 3,
maybe 5.
If you can stack it with that one guy, Goblin Recruiter.
Yeah,
then sure. But that's very fairy tale land.
That's not. It's fairy tale land to play one card into another card. That's not fairy tale land.
Yeah, who does that?
Yeah, who plays 2 cards basically?
Well, it's got a combo, but other than that. It's not like you always have that.
Yeah, you don't always have that. But this card is perfectly fine. You get decent value off it, and it attacks well.
It's one of the better goblins, I think, commander-wise. It's got some beef, and it can fill you up when you inevitably get board wiped.
Yeah, this is fun. Goblins are some of the most fun things in Commander. The only thing like more fun to play than this is Krenko for goblins.
Yeah, I'm going to read the lore and then get back to why it makes the art so amazing. But one of the reasons goblins are so fun is they have awesome lore.
Mm-hmm.
Muxus is not one goblin. It's 4 quintuplets, quadruplets that they just...
Isn't it quintuplets?
No, quint is 5. Quad is 4.
What? Yeah, but I think there's 5 of them.
There's 4 of them.
I thought there was 5. And
it is quintuplets.
It is quintuplets.
I was wrong about how many. So there's quintuplets, and every day they roll a die, and if it's 1 through 5, a random one of them will become Muxus for the day, carried on the chair it's on by the other 4, and on 6 they take a day off.
Yeah, on 6 they all take a day off. They roll a 6-sided die. 1 through 5 determines which one of the goblins will be Muxus for the day, and then
and he's revered as like a goblin king.
Oh, he's revered as like the greatest goblin. Like he's amazing, but it's one of 5 different guys.
It's never the same one.
And nobody knows because they're dumb goblins.
And they all look the same. Well, they're quintuplets. They're identical.
Well, yeah. Even if they look, they don't look. They probably look at least a little different. And but goblins are so stupid you can never expect them to notice.
They never know. The only thing left is uniqueness. Ending on a sour note, this is just a goblin that does things.
It's just goblin tribal. It's a big goblin beater though. That's something that you don't see too much. We don't see big fat attacking goblins.
How many goblins in Magic have 5 or more power? There's your research homework. Next is Ormos, Archive Keeper, above Calamax, Stormsire, and below Skitherix, the White Dragon. It's at 162. 4 blue for a 5/5 Sphinx with flying. If you would draw a card while you have no cards in your library, instead put 5 +1/+1 counters on Ormos, Archive Keeper. 1 blue, discard 3 cards with different names, draw 5 cards. I was looking at this and I thought, well, the middle ability doesn't do anything because obviously if you have no cards left in your library, it's insane. But you can't have that as your starting point.
Yeah.
But I was like, wait, pay 3, discard 3, draw 5. That's insane.
That's
so good.
That's super super good. That ability is awesome. It's very strong.
It says 3 cards because the only card in your deck that isn't going to have the same name or is going to have the same name is Island.
Yeah, and we don't even have to have that many islands because we can just play a bunch of different lands.
You could get away with playing 1 island and 1 snow-covered island and probably have a functional deck if you really want to.
Yeah, you easily could, and that would make this card better in your deck. You're gonna throw away stuff. What I think, random thing I think is funny, with replacement effects. Okay, so the replacement effect is if you would draw with no cards in your library. The only other replacement effects that work with that one are win the game. So you can either you get to choose which replacement effect happens. You could choose to either replace the draw with counters or replace the draw with winning the game. I just think it's funny you get a choice.
It's weird to rely on this, but once you do, if you activate the ability, this gets 15 +1/+1 counters.
Oh,
or no, sorry, 25 +1/+1 counters.
Yeah,
it's an instant kill to somebody, but if they don't have a flying blocker. So really think of this as a super expensive, if you untap with it, probably win, just because you draw too many cards.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a pretty awesome card to get you a lot of card advantage, and it's a lot of filtering too. Besides the card advantage that you're getting, which is 2 each time you activate, you're filtering through all the cards you don't want in your hand.
Yeah, all these arts are great. Nothing too notable here. I do like the lore. She runs a library on some distant, unknown plane, and she keeps a copy of every single book ever written. And her magic makes it so that whenever a book is written, it instantly appears in the library. Huh. And she's like this organization freak who has to sort everything.
What a weird thing to do.
Then it was like, well, that's pretty tough because new books are written every minute. So she's just like constantly running around sorting stuff.
Like from just her plane?
Just her plane.
Oh, that's got to be annoying.
That's got to be annoying on any plane. Even Earth plane's probably not too big.
There's so many useless books written all the time. They'd be like, oh.
Dr. Seuss again. Another Stephen King.
Those are like the interesting ones. Then how about the fact it's like, oh, another how to fix an air conditioner for dummies. It's like
another biography of someone who no one cares about.
Like someone we've never heard of. Ooh.
Who's this Vito guy? He makes pizzas? I don't care at all about that. But you know what I do care about?
No.
The best commander from Jumpstart.
Yep.
If you didn't guess by now.
Yep. It is Tiny Bones, Trinket Thief, right above Aethrio's God of Passage, and right below Okon, Eye of Chaos, at a total ranking. This is of all commanders of all time, 43.
That's really good. That's A tier. That's S tier, right? Top 50's got to be S tier.
S tier. 1 in the black for a 1/2 legendary creature, Skeleton Rogue. At the beginning of each end step, if an opponent discarded a card this turn, you draw a card and lose 1 life. 4 black. Each opponent with no cards in their hand loses 10 life.
10 is a lot. This has the static and the payoff once you do the static thing.
This is extremely powerful. The thing is, it only costs 2 mana for this amazing static effect. If you just make somebody discard, he already is getting his card back.
It's right so trivial to get someone to discard. They might do it themselves half the time.
Yeah, and we built this deck. It is very powerful. There's a lot of things to do to make them discard. There's a lot of like static effects that make everyone discard on their upkeep that you really want because
that'll trigger every end step. But note that means this card loses points for fun because that's kind of miserable to have no cards in your hand.
Yeah, that's why this card loses its points, because it's not that fun. It really doesn't have anything super fun to it to be doing except for making everyone discard.
But check that art though.
Tiny Bones. It's amazingly good art. It looks extremely cool. He's like running away with a giant green gem. Like
he got there. Someone was distracting, and he was the payoff guy.
You have to go ahead and read this whole blurb because the blurb is amazing.
We're gonna read the blurb word for word right now. Tiny Bones doesn't enjoy stealing. Tiny Bones doesn't enjoy hurting the people of Urborg. Tiny Bones isn't in it for the adrenaline. Tiny Bones doesn't even have adrenaline gland. No, Tiny Bones steals because Tiny Bones has a tiny family to feed. And they have a giant appetite. Why would this guy steal stuff? He has a tiny family to feed. Duh. Yeah. Don't you feel stupid?
It's so good. It's so funny and like so charming.
Would you steal a tiny loaf of bread to feed your tiny family?
No, they have a giant appetite. He's got to steal a giant loaf of bread.
No, they're a tiny family, but it's a tiny loaf. You have to keep stealing tiny loaves.
You have to steal a lot of tiny loaves.
Or just one regular loaf.
Or one big giant gem to pay for lots of loaves.
I think these feel like the people who live in shoes or something.
Oh, I guess.
Because they're so small. But like normal shoes, not their own shoes.
Sure. And for uniqueness, it's just a discard commander. We've had a few of these up to this point. It's mono black. It's discard.
I like the 6-mana payoff though. Just shooting people for 10. That's the cool part.
I mean, it's incredibly strong. This is probably the best discard commander we've ever seen. But it doesn't change the fact that
it's just another one of those.
It is just another one.
It's unique enough.
But that's all of the Jumpstart new commanders we've seen so far.
They're all great. Not so far that we've ever seen.
That we'll ever see, because Jumpstart is a set, unless we do another Jumpstart 2 Electric Boogaloo. So
that would be a good name. I mean, Tiny Bones too. Tinier Bones, son of Tiny Bones.
Yeah. I mean, it's inferred that he has a son or daughter.
Yeah, tiny family.
Tiny family. I mean,
usually people don't refer to their significant other as like we're family.
Well, you might, but you wouldn't call them your tiny family.
That's true. Let's go to the shout outs.
Special shout outs to all of our patrons. We love you all as much as we can without making you uncomfortable. If you would like to join them, click on the link in the description below to enter to win our giveaway, which we are doing monthly. We'll have a new package for you guys up on Monday, so you can check out that video and you'll know what the new package is. If you become a patron in the month of July, you'll be entered to win that package, whatever it is. We're going to be announcing it. It's going to be worth at least $20. And so our winner for this month was Aspavientos, aka Diego Rodriguez. Thank you so much for the support, everyone, and congratulations to you, Diego.
Yeah, so patrons who stay patrons get to continuously enter into the giveaways.
Yes, you get to enter into every giveaway. If you're a patron for that month, you paid for that month, then you get your entries. You get certain entries based on your tier, so take a look at how many entries you get. Maybe you want to get a couple extra.
$2, that'll get you some entries. More dollars, that'll get you more entries. Simple. TCGplayer.com. We're affiliated with them in such a way that if you were to go to their site, linked in the description, and buy something, we would get a kickback on that order. So I recommend that you go do that.
Yes. And you can also go to buymeacoffee.com. It's just a digital tip jar, and if you would like to tip us, we would greatly appreciate it. We'll shout you out on the channel.
And if you can't get enough of Joe and never me, you can go to twitch.com, where he's streaming Monday through Wednesday, 10 to 4 Eastern Standard Time, usually doing draft, sometimes historic standard.
Yeah, a lot of historic and standard today. I was not feeling draft.
He's not feeling M21. I don't know.
I went 03. I went 03, and then I went 7-2.
I'm learning that M21 is very aggressive. 2 drops, super good.
Yep. There. And tidbit about our life. What are you thinking, BZ?
I was going to mention I was watching Ben Stark stream, and he drafted a quadruple Houndmaster deck. Do you know what he called the deck?
Oops, all dogs?
Pawblade. How is that not amazing?
Okay.
You got a creature that enters and searches for 2 other creatures. That's totally Squadronok. So Squadronok-esque. It was great.
I mean, that's cool. My streams have been really fun. The draft has been frustrating as can be sometimes. Like, it's such I swear to God, and I keep saying this, it's pick 3 and there's no good cards in the pack. I hate that.
Oh, when you just totally whiff on a pack. That happens way more in core sets. Like, if you look at Korea's so mega strong. That usually didn't happen.
That didn't happen. It didn't happen for the last 2 sets too before it. There wasn't even that issue where it's just like with 3, you're just like pick 3. You're like, there's no good cards in this pack. I actively don't want to play any of these.
There's like 4 combat tricks. There's like a mind rot. The uncommons are just super niche.
Ugh, so annoying.
Yeah, well, that's we're gonna end with being annoyed because we're the nitpicking nerds.
We're the nitpicking nerds, and we nitpick everything. Peace out, Tribe Scout.